This is Monocle on Design Extra. It's a short show to accompany our weekly programme where we discuss everything from architecture and craft to furniture and fashion. I'm Maylie Evans. Today we head to Hong Kong, where the world-leading luxury auction house Christie's has opened its new Asia-Pacific headquarters at the Henderson Building. The sparkling new skyscraper is full of undulating curves and organic shapes, courtesy of Zaha Hadid architects. This sets the stage for the 4-storey flagship for Christie's. The auction house's interiors are the work of Hong Kong practice Collective. Co-founder of the firm, Betty Ng, gave a tour to Monocle's Asia editor, James Chambers. Betty began by sharing some of the challenges of designing in such an unusual architectural space.
During the design process, of course, we meet with a lot of stakeholders, and a lot of them were very fascinated by Zaha Hadid's design. A lot of them wanted us to try to incorporate so-called Zaha Hadid elements in it. But then we sort of responded by saying to be really respectful of the design is not to mimic it, it's actually to let it shine. So, for example, the facade, the gigantic piece of curved glass facade of the Henderson is extremely special. So what we have done is to create galleries that have this complete open view that you can really sense the curvature of the facade. We focus more on creating a very practical and flexible, fluid space for Christie's because they have moved from a very big exhibition hall to a small office floor plate, comparatively speaking, to create similar exhibition and auctions. So we focus more on creating flexibility and fluidity instead of focusing too much on the aesthetic of what the tower has already offered, let's say to Hong Kong. And I think that beauty sometimes can be seen as a result of good design instead of something that is stylized. Yeah.
In Hong Kong, there's this big shift among the big auction houses to move away from these 2 seasonal auctions a year, where they usually rent out a big ballroom, to having their own physical spaces where they can have auctions throughout the year. I mean, this is what Christie's is doing here. What did you need to take account of?
In Hong Kong particularly, because we have such expensive, valuable real estate, so every square inch counts. We responded to the brief by having to make 2 floor plates interchangeable into gallery spaces, event spaces, and auction rooms. We have implemented several systems of movable walls, which then runs on tracks on the floor or tracks on the ceiling or completely movable around organically with wheels to create an ecosystem of flexibility that cater to different events that they need to do. Having said that, with all these movable walls and system, we also need to look at the ceiling, a very important part of the project, because we have to make sure no matter where the wall is located, light can go there. And so we have created this modulation of light tracks that also allows CCTV to be plugged in, allows the flexibility of walls to be in every location while paintings can be well lit.
We've just had a walk around the new auction house and seen all of the exhibitions, and there's loads of people here for the previews looking at the art. Very few of them are going to notice all of the design that has gone into this place because, as you've pointed out, most of your job is trying to hide everything, to essentially make your work and your creativity invisible. How does that feel?
Incredible, actually. We come in to work on this project as architects. We are not decorators. We are not here to make a space beautiful by adding things. We are here to make a space functional and beautiful as a result. I'm actually very glad no one actually see the design so much. The water jet cut stone socket plate on the floor to the hidden air conditioning up the ceiling and the light tracks that are on the ceiling. Actually, no one really realized they are light tracks. That makes us extremely happy because it also means our intention to create design through good detailing and functionality really resulted in a kind of beauty that we're very proud of.
I mean, over the last decade, Collective has been building up quite a reputation in Hong Kong for your work, for galleries and exhibition spaces and exhibitions. But how did you convince a huge name like Christie's to give you this project, given that most of your work is hiding your talents in a way?
we realized that Christie is not just moving to a new space, but Christie is transforming because the business model has completely changed. So the first thing we said is we actually need to talk to your team. What we're proposing right now is an informed guess of what we imagine Christie could be, but the most important thing is to work with your team very closely and understand what are the changes that you need. I think that was very genuine when we walked in, and indeed the President Francis in the inaugural opening mentioned to me that was almost a key moment that he realized that we will very likely be a very good partner to work with. I was actually sent to London, New York, and Paris to Christie's to research into what they have already, even their warehouses. So we really get a very deep understanding of what Christie has built in the last hundreds of years, and today what they actually need to prepare for the future expansion.
There'll be a lot of art fans coming through, but for our architects and design fans listening, what should they come and see? This is open to the public. They can come and see your work for themselves. So what are your favorite elements of the design? What should they look out for?
The water jet stone-cut socket plate on the floor, which is going to be a really difficult thing to find because it's so hidden. But of course, I think it will be really interesting for you guys to come in and try to seek for the reminiscence of movement. Where are the tracks? How does these walls work? Try to also take a look at the open, expanded, anodized aluminum mesh ceiling that we have created, because it's completely different on one side to the other due to its nature of expanded mesh. So it's catching light differently.
Collective also do a lot of retail. You've designed some beautiful spaces for the likes of Joyce and Kapok at different ends of the spectrum. How does something like this, an auction house, what essentially can be seen as a white box, compare to retail spaces?
We never think we're specialists in design. We don't focus on just one program. We'll be very happy to be designing a school, to design a hospital. We really look at the brief and try to offer new ideas and solve problems. For us, design is not about decoration. So it doesn't scare us to design various different kind of programs, different kind of projects. So in that case, I don't see that they are mutually exclusive. I actually see them all just as architectural or interior design projects.
Betty Ng in conversation with Monocle's Asia editor, James Chambers. And that's all for this week. If you're eager for more design stories, then listen to our main programme, Monocle on Design, airing on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. London time. Or if you prefer print, you can pick up a copy of Monocle magazine, available on all good newsstands now. Today's episode was produced by me, Maylie Evans. Thank you very much for listening.